Welcome to the CompTIA A+ 220 801 review. My name is Anthony Alicea with Venki.net and thecybercafe.org, and this is a open source kind of free option for anyone who wants to learn A+ certification and all that stuff. There's going to be a 220.801 and a 220.802, and these materials are completely free to distribute as they will be available on YouTube and other media sources. So here we go. We're going to begin with a quick little kind of overview of the course objectives. Obviously, this is for the A+ exam, so we're going to be dealing mainly with topics relating to computer hardware, software, and servicing said units, as well as dealing with customers. So we're going to start the course out in the Operational Procedures Department, where we'll talk about things like ESD, electrostatic discharge, and just overall personal safety. We'll then move into the PC hardware realm, where we'll talk about the basic in-out system, as well as the motherboard and the different types of expansion slots that you can find on said motherboard. We will then move along and begin to discuss the memory and storage aspects of a computer, including the RAM, as well as any storage devices, whether that be internal, external, all that fun stuff. Next up will be connectors, cables, and pins, which will discuss various types of connectors to interface between ports and whatnot, as well as CPU sockets, which are in their own right a connector for the CPU on a motherboard. Following up with that, we will have a networking section, which will be dedicated to learning about network cabling, such as UTP, STP, coaxial, and other types of cabling, as well as network topologies and different network types. After we learn about regular old networking, we're going to go into wireless network and talk about wireless networking basics, as well as the IEEE standards, which will include throughput speeds and the different types of limitations of each network, as well as their pros and cons. We're going to move along to TCPIP, so we're going to talk about the basics of that. We'll learn about addressing, we'll learn about static and dynamic TCPIP addressing, as well as DHCP assignment, and common connections such as TCP and UDP. And next up, we will talk about some network devices, which will include hubs, routers, switches, NASs, etc. And then we will move into laptops, discussing their expansion, the display technologies that go into laptop screens, as well as docking stations and port replicators. Moving on, we will talk about printers, including laser printing process, as well as inkjet printers, thermal printers, impact printers, etc. And finally, we're going to talk about customer service and best practices. Now, a lot of people don't think of this when they think of A+ certification. However, being a field technician, you are going to need to know communication, how to control distractions, how to deal with difficult customers, and what to do when you come across confidential materials or possible prohibited materials. So we'll wrap up the entire 801 portion with that. So this is what you have to look forward to, if you can call it that, in the first part of the A+ certifications, being the 801 section, and then we will move along to 802. I hope we will have you along for the journey, and enjoy the ride.